The first 1 week, it was horrible. Like, I used to go home every single day crying. I'm like, why did we come to India? I want to go back home and all. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I want to welcome Sritha. She is a student at Githam University in Visakhapatnam. And what's interesting about her case is that she moved to India when she was in the 6th standard. She's going to talk a little bit about the problems that she faced and what her parents also faced when they moved from Canada to India during that time. And the goal of this is NRIs with kids can sort of understand what may be coming for them. I want you to note that Sritha moved to a tier 2 city. So that was Vijayawada. So let's keep that in mind while we're going through this. So hi, Sritha, welcome. Thank you for interviewing here and talking about your story. I just wanted you to give a little bit about your background to the viewers. Like, where did you grow up and all of that?
So coming to me, hello everyone, I'm Sritha and I'm currently pursuing my BTech engineering in Githam University in Visakhapatnam. So I was actually born and raised in a country called Canada, and I was born back in 2002 to two beautifully humble parents. So that I was born and brought up in the same place. So that's pretty much where I go. And coming to when I moved, as ma'am has said, it was in my 6th grade. I moved to India. And yeah, that's all I have to say regarding my intro.
How many years were you in Canada?
I was there for, yes. I was there for around 11 years, I think. So until my 5th standard, right? So it was 11 years.
And your parents were there for more than that? How many total years were they there for?
Yes, my parents were in Canada for around 20 years, I guess. So that's a huge time.
Wow. Can you tell us what made them make that decision after 20 years?
When we were first moving to India, they didn't specifically tell me anything because I remembered the day they told me. I just came back from school. It was an ordinary day. And my parents said like, hi, Sritha, we're moving to India in 2 months. And I'm just like, wait, what? Don't we go there for vacation? Why are we moving? So it was a huge shock to me. But I think like there were probably 2 factors I can say. One is family, because our entire family is here in India. Our relatives, our cousins, my parents' parents, and all. So my parents are people who value that family connection a lot, and they wanted me and my sisters to grow up in a place where we're surrounded with that kind of family connect. And apart from that, I can say is probably the culture, because there the culture can get a little I don't know how to put it, a little hard to handle once a student hits their teens. But in India, it's not like that. It's a little comparatively a little subtle. So I think these are the 2 factors that probably made my parents take that drastic decision to move.
So Sritha, you mentioned about, feeling a little alienated when you came here, adjusting was a problem. Can you share some incidents that you remember when you were in the 6th grade? You mentioned you came home crying and all that. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about that?
When I first came to India, everything was different. Like, because back in Canada, we used to live in a huge house and I used to have a room to myself. But then when we came to India, it was like 3 families living in a 3-bedroom apartment, because I was so used to staying in a place on my own, and it felt kind of like claustrophobic living in such a small house together. And apart from that, I used to go to school and I didn't know anybody. Back in Canada, from like kindergarten till 5th grade, I was in the same school. So again, a drastic change, just a completely new place. And because of the way I used to speak and the way that, I portrayed myself, it was kind of hard for me to mingle with the people. Like, I remember one day where I was just sitting, eating my lunch by myself. And there were these 2 girls who came up to me and they were literally like, oh my God, can you talk in that accent? Like, I mean, it's not, and it felt like I was a zoo animal where people just came to me and they were like asking me to do stuff like that and stuff like this. It just felt weird. But yeah, the first 1 week, it was horrible. Like, I used to go home every single day crying. I'm like, why did we come to India? I want to go back home and all. So that's how it was the first week.
So you mentioned about your accent, and I remember when I first met you, I got a hint of an accent. So you mentioned you suppress it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Back when I was in Canada, one thing I loved doing was reading books and also public speaking. So whenever I had the chance to like go give a speech or like speak in the assembly and all, I'd be the first one to put up my hand. So because of that, I had a very fast pace when I spoke. So generally in itself, when I used to speak in an accent along with the speed, it was hard for people to understand. And then I come to India, I have the accent and the speed. It felt like I was speaking Greek and Latin to many people. So they would just stare at me with a blank face. So it became a little hard for me to communicate with the people here because my accent was very strong since I was born and brought up there. So then onwards, I had to suppress my accent a little and then use a few Indian versions of English. Like I'll give you an example. First, when I came to school, there was this one person who was like, catch this. Okay, so they had something in their hand and they're like, catch this. So I thought they were going to throw it at me. But then actually catch this in India, it just means to hold it. Instead of saying hold it, they'd say catch this. So those kind of small stuff, talking to the people here, I slowly picked it up. And like that, in a span of like a year or two, I kind of picked up on the Indian accent. And, it made it easier for me to communicate with the people here. That's the thing.
That's really interesting. So now when you talk to people, do they get a hint of the accent from you?
Yeah, a little. Like when I'm talking in an official forum or if like I'm speaking somewhere on a stage or something, my accent like automatically pours in because that's what I'm comfortable using generally. But then like if I'm speaking to friends or anything, like I kind of suppress the accent so that it's easier for us to communicate.
And you probably got used to it by now.
Yes, a lot.
Can you tell a little bit about that turning point where finally India felt like home to you?
So one point was where I made friends. The moment I had people to look up to when I went to school and be like, okay, I want to meet this person the next day, I want to chill out with them, hang and all. That was when it became a little easier to go to school and all because they'd be there to guide me through. They'd be like, okay, here's this, here's that, this is how things work here and stuff like that. So the first friend I made, it was actually in the library itself. I've been someone who loves reading. So even back in Canada, I used to sit in the library in my school and like chill with the librarian most of the time. So even when I came to India, that's what I used to do. Back then I was in DPS. So they had a pretty good library as well. So I used to go there whenever I could and read and stuff. So that was how I made my first few friends as well. So after I had that, group of friends, that was when I felt like, okay, it's not going to be so hard. I can do this. And it did work out a lot.
What was the time it took from the time you moved to the point where you felt you were at home?
Probably like 2 weeks or so, maybe. The first week was hard, but then I have to say one thing is people in India, they value friendship so much. It's something you don't find in any other country as well. Because I don't know. It's just like once you make friends, they're like your family here. So one thing I love about India is the type of friends that you can make. So I felt really connected once I found like that perfect group of friends to hang out with. So that's that.
You said 2 weeks. I thought you were going to say 2 years.
No. It was pretty fast. I mean, again, friendly people, so it worked out.
So can you tell me about doing a bachelor's degree in India versus abroad? Since a lot of people are citizens, kids are citizens of the country abroad, a lot of parents have this hesitation that, they'll have to pay an NRI fee. How will they, maybe after their 12, they should go abroad. Can you talk about doing that, the choice of studying in India and the fee structure as well?
I'm still in touch with a lot of my friends in Canada as well. So I speak to a few of them and I have a few family friends there as well that I still talk with. And many of them do tell me, like, how they show you in like English series and all, how high school is, how college is. It's not exactly like that, but then it's comparatively a little more fun than what we find here. It's not exactly studies and all. There's a lot of extracurricular that you can do. You'll find a lot of sports people, a lot of musicians and stuff like that. So coming to the fee structure, well, I'm not exactly sure about it, but I do know one thing is that it generally does cost a little extra because they have to accommodate you, give you a separate spacing and all. So
if you were to ask you if you're Canadian or if you're Indian, what would you answer?
The lifestyle that we have there is amazing. But then coming to India, I like the people here, like the kind of friends you can make and the kind of environment that you have here. It's something I prefer over the environment there because there you can find a lot of bullying and a lot of discrimination and all. So there were times where, I'll give an example. So when we come to India, there's this one tradition in South Indian families where you go to Tirupati and you have to, get a bald head or something, give your hair to that particular god. So it's something that my family followed as well. So when we came to India, uh, for vacations and all, I'd go home to Canada again with a bald head. So then I used to get bullied a lot for that. People used to say that, I don't know, like, oh my God, this girl has cancer or something and stuff like that. So during those kind of times, I felt alienated. But then in India, like, I don't know, I just like the kind of friends that I have and the kind of environment that people put you in. It's very supportive. That's what I feel.
Do you miss, a lot of people say it's not safe for women in India. Are you worried about that? Do you think they should be worried about that?
I'd say yes to that. I mean, back in Canada, my parents were fine with me staying out late at my friend's house, and just like, even I used to go for bicycle rides with my friends when I was in like third or fourth grade outside a lot. But when I came to India, my parents have become a little more strict compared to like how it was there, because it's a little more, what do you say, hard for me to accept the fact that I can go out in India in a safe environment. I'm always a little scared, a little skeptical, always looking back, making sure everything around me is fine and all. So I'd say that it does seem a little scary here compared to how things work there.
And also related to wearing what kind of clothes you can wear?
Oh, that's a huge change. So when I was in Canada, even if I wear shorts and just go around a lot, no one would do anything. Like it's common. Everyone wears like uh, really short shorts and they wear tank tops, and it's just dressing for the weather, because whenever it's very hot outside, it's like courtesy to wear something which gives you a little more breeze. So wearing short clothes there, it's like common, pretty common. Everyone does it. Coming to India, if you wear like a gown or something that's even below your knees a little bit, you get judging looks from people around you. So it made me feel a little intimidated as well, and I felt really conscious of myself. So when I came to India, my entire dressing style also changed. So I would wear a little more clothes that would cover me up a lot. At home, I dress as I wish, but when I go outside, I make sure that I wear clothes that don't give me the judging eye. So,
do you still feel even in your university, you get those judgy vibes, you can't wear whatever you want?
not really. It's just that right now I'm so accustomed to wearing like clothes that cover myself up. I mean, that's what I've been doing for 4 years. So now I find that comfortable. But in college, I mean, I've seen girls dress very boldly, and some people rock it, to be honest. So there's no one giving like judging eyes here at all. In university, people dress amazing. I gotta say, girls have fashion sense that's bomb.
Yeah, maybe true for GitHub. I think the college that I went to, we weren't able to wear whatever we wanted. But at that time, I hadn't tasted being abroad. So if your parents are to look back at the decision, do you think they would do anything differently, or do they regret it, anything like that?
Oh no, they do not regret it. Because my father, he's in touch with a few of his friends and colleagues from there, even till date, and they're like, and they keep telling him like, you made the right decision going to India with your kids, because seeing the culture here and seeing the way that my kids are being brought up, I just feel like your kids are in a better position and all, in like many aspects, in the way that the culture is, in the way that we embrace our own Indian traditions and all. So it keeps you grounded to your roots. So my parents like are very happy with the decision, and in the long run, I guess I am too. So maybe I can go back to Canada someday in the future, study, have a job, but right now I'm happy here in India.
Okay. So some people have this argument that it totally depends on parenting, because there are kids in India who we say are spoiled, and there are kids in the United States or Canada who are even more Indian than Indians. What do you say about that? Do you think it's all parenting, or it really makes a difference if you move?
It's definitely on the parenting, 100%. Because as you've said, like there are a few kids in the US and all who are very, very stuck to the roots of where they came from. And there are family friends that I know who are like that. But at the same time, there are a few family friends who are completely spoiled. So I've seen all the sides, and in every single place, the only aspect that does matter a lot is definitely the parenting. So
Okay. So
that's
it is about parenting irrespective of where you live. It's probably just harder for parents to, keep up that Indian culture abroad versus India. It's a slightly easier here. So I think what you're trying to convey is that if there are Indians who cannot move to India, they can still have a parenting style that will help their kids grow up the way the parents, with the values and culture that the parents want.
because even when we were in Canada, we used to have a puja mandir. Every single time that there was any function or any kind of festival that came, we used to celebrate it there as well. We celebrated Diwali, we celebrated Sankranti, all of this as well there. So it all depends. And we used to have we have temples there as well. So anytime there is some festival, we used to go to the temples. We used to dress up. We used to call our family back in India. So again, it's the parenting that matters there.
Yeah. Okay, Sritha, thank you so much for being here and talking to our viewers and giving such amazing, valuable information. We all wish you the best and lots of love.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Thank you.